We are cruising. Gosh, we are moving fast. That is awesome how well this is working. And hey guys, welcome back. I am Jason Salyer, and behind the camera is Gregory. Real briefly, we're just going to talk about how we're actually navigating out here. It's pretty easy to navigate out here for the most part because the line of sight is just, it's forever. You can see everything. We have started on our chart here, right here at, I don't know how to pronounce that, Matacumbe Key, Lower Matacumbe Key. We started right here at this channel, and we navigated our way out past Buchanan Bank, and we ended up spending the night right here on this small little rabbit key. And the way that we got here was by using this chart and using a compass and basically just sighting the next island. So we know that on our route, we're gonna come across these Buchanan Bank keys here, and we can see those. We can see them in the distance, and all we have to do is point our boards towards those and paddle towards them. And when we get to those, we can figure out exactly where we are in relation to the other keys that are around us, and then we can sight to the next one. And then we just keep hopping, keep island hopping to the next one and to the next one to the next one. And it's been fairly easy, really, really simple. If visibility was lower because of rain, whatever it may be, fog, that kind of stuff, that would make it significantly more difficult. But as of right now, for us, it's been working really, really good. And honestly, we haven't even had to use the compass other than at those stop points where we just confirm that's where we are, and we confirm which island we're going or which key we're going to next by lining up your compass and confirming that this key is where it's supposed to be, this key is where it's supposed to be based on where you think you are. And if those all line up, it all matches up, then you're correct and you can move on. So far, so good. And we all, as a backup, this is what we've been primarily using because it's a waterproof chart, and it's just, I think it's just kind of foolproof. It works every single time without question. And as anyone knows, GPS can fail you. But however, we have backup GPS here. And I am using an app called Gaia GPS. And in my opinion, it's the easiest and simplest to use. And what I have done, I don't know if you can see that very well on camera. You see it?
Yep, there we go.
Yeah. So what I have done before we left on this voyage on our yachts, I have marked our locations of where we're going to be spending the night. Camp 1 right here, Camp 2, and then finish line right, I don't want that, but finish line is that dot right there. And we can use this as a backup just to kind of confirm where we are, but I do not want to rely upon this solely because GPS can and will fail eventually. So,
and we've not even been using it.
I haven't even used it at all for any navigation reasons at all, but if we needed to, it's there. And it's a pretty handy one to have. Also got the GPS on my life jacket here, attached to the life jacket, the Garmin InReach Mini, which is a very effective device that I can use not only for navigation reasons, but for communications. I can send text messages via satellite, which is very convenient.
Well, listen, when Jason called and said, listen, I want to do a 3-day paddleboard adventure, he tasked me, given that I was down in Miami, to pick something. So I decided we'd hit the Florida Bay. And first of all, I know it reasonably well, fished a lot of it. I've never paddleboarded across, and so it was a little bit of an adventure for me as well. I thought what we would do initially would spend a couple of days out in the Keys, knowing that there's only a select number of campsites that you are allowed to actually land and camp on. Some of them are platforms called chickees. Others are actually the island we're on right now, which is Rabbit Key. We had to kind of plan a tour around where those available campsites were, the permissible campsites. So originally we were going to go from Flamingo, which is basically back on the mainland, to the Keys and end up in the Keys somewhere. And that was the original plan. I think that's what I had communicated to you. But given everything about planning these kinds of trips, particularly with paddle boards, which you're susceptible to the weather, we were watching the weather window and the weather formation, and it was obvious about 2 weeks ago that we might not be in a good weather pattern for the trip that was planned. So I literally daily watched the weather forecast, particularly the wind forecast, and then we called an audible probably on the last 2 days, and we spun the trip around, and we ended up leaving from the Keys going to Flamingo, and that was pretty easy because of just the general overarching wind direction, the dominant wind direction.
So where did we start from?
We started from here, Lower Matacumbe Key, and then we are heading to Flamingo, and our waypoints are Rabbit Key and Johnson Key, which are the 2 campsites.
And what was the wind direction yesterday?
The wind direction was 340 degrees.
And what was our route?
341 degrees.
It was amazing.
It was perfect.
It was amazing.
But we also cheated a little bit because we didn't have a destination specifically picked from where we're going to leave from, and we just kept clocking down the keys to set ourselves up for the most direct shot to our first destination with the wind in our back. So
yeah, because if we had launched from our original location over here, the wind would have been
crosswind.
Yeah, it would have been coming across us here and not blowing directly at our backs because we left from here. The wind was right at our backs. It was perfect.
And in fact, the wind was blowing to our final destination.
Yeah.
Now, today's a little bit different, and tomorrow it's going to clock a little bit more this way. But again, planning makes life a little bit easier and a whole lot more fun. Plus, we can sail. If you see that part of the video.
Yeah, we'll add some sailing footage in there, the wind footage. That'd be good. This could not work any better, I don't think.
See the summit? You got to rebrand these.
Yeah.
These are dual sup. I guess you would call this not a head sail. I guess this would be like a spinnaker, a dual sup spinnaker. See the summit? Spinnaker. See summit. That's SSS.
We're fishing for sponsorships.
The summit sup spinnaker. That's a quad.
Quad S.
Quad S.
Quadruple S.
This is a
boat paddleboards.
boat paddleboards.
Yep. You're welcome for the free advertisement.
And we've got
MSR bladders.
The bladders, they're awesome, by the way.
They are good.
The paddler's not so good, but the bladders are...
Gosh, we are cruising. Gosh, we are moving fast. That is awesome how well this is working. And
trolling for marlin if it was marlin water.
We really could be trolling right now.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So something I've never actually done before, but I'd like to experiment with is water desalination. We're gonna see if we can get any potable water out of seawater. Probably don't need a full bottle to do this test, but I've got some seawater here, and we're gonna see if we can get something to drink. Because I think, as everybody knows, drinking salt water is a no-go. Unless you're into hallucinations? Hallucinations.
Or you're a mangrove tree.
Yeah. We need more seawater in this.
Is that seawater?
It is.
Okay, so we're going to use that as a condenser.
Mm-hmm.
So
And we'll collect our water in here. We're going to pour it into the cup. You could do this with fire. However, fire is illegal on this island.
It's created basic, all you guys, boys, girls that know what a hillbilly still is, taken the tube from my Camelback, pulled off the ends. We cut a hole into the top of the jet boil lid, sealed off the other holes, so we forced the steam, the evaporant through here. Because that's going to heat up, we're going to put it through a water jacket, which is basically the rest of the seawater. And then hopefully what comes out is we can get a distilled fresh water that is potable.
This jet boil will heat the water, boil it, turn it into steam. Steam will go through the straw, run through, down through the cold water, seawater, and then drip into our cup where we can collect it for drinking. You know, I used to work with a track coach that said that, you know, people would tell him slow and steady wins the race.
No, it doesn't.
And he said, tell me one race that's ever been won by slow and steady.
None.
Fast. Oh, whoa, there's some water. Lots of water just came out of that as soon as you did that.
Okay, so hopefully we're not creating like a pressure cooker and I'm going to explode-o-matic and get a steam burn.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That's cool. Steam jacket's working. Probably enough to test if we've got a workable... Okay, Jason, tell us if we got salt or if we got fresh.
Well, it would have been good if I cleaned my cup first.
Well, we got a little bit of oatmeal, so we haven't been able to distill out the oatmeal from breakfast.
How nasty that water looks. Whoops. All right, let's try it out.
Come on, man. Save the day.
That is fresh water.
Distillant.
Yeah, no salt at all. Yeah.
Now, as long as we got a 25 pound tank of propane.
Yeah, we only need
might be able to make a bottle of water.
Yeah, we only need about I don't know.
But you could do this with a fire. I mean, there is actually on this island, not that we would ever do this because it's not allowed.
Yeah.
There is a lot of standing dead wood from kind of destroyed mangrove, probably from the last hurricane.
Yeah.
So you could build a fire and do this with the wood at hand.
But this is much more scientific. This is a cabbage palm. It has hundreds of uses, among them being it's edible, shelter, all kinds of different things. But one quick and dirty use for this plant is a real fast little piece of cordage. So if you needed some cordage, you take your knife. You don't even need a knife for this, but it just makes it easier. You make a small little cut, and then you pull all the way down the full length of the stem, or the frond, whatever you want to call it, and it gives you a small piece of cordage. You can make it thicker if you wanted to by cutting further into the stalk, but if you needed a small bit of cordage to tie up, lash something up like a tripod or something like that, you could do it, and it's pretty tough. It's not crazy strong, but I would say this is probably 15, 20 pounds, maybe tensile strength, something like that. So pretty strong stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Thumbs up.
Bye.
See ya.